Welcome back to Marvelous Videos. I'm Rylan, the devoted and potent servant of Kronika, the keeper of time and architect of the universe's fate. Geras was created by Kronika herself. He has the ability to control the sands of time, just like Kronika. He has died countless times and survived each time stronger and wiser. He has seen many significant historical events, including the Ice Age and Goro's defeat of the Great Kung Lao, thanks to his almost endless lifetime. Geras is capable of controlling both time as well as sand. He has complete power over time, including the ability to teleport, turn back time, and repeat earlier events. Geras is a recent addition to the Mortal Kombat series. He serves as antagonist Kronika's henchman in MK11. Still exuding a lot of charisma in his role, Geras may freely communicate with his opponents because time has been stopped, rendering them utterly clueless about his next action. He is as strong as a god and immortal. Geras is capable of not only comprehending his deaths, but evolving with each incarnation of his existence. He can also possibly heal any injury in a matter of seconds. So let us dig further into and explore the mysterious origins of Geras in our video here today. But before we get into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, then please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is just a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thanks. Now, let's begin. History of Geras. The character from the Mortal Kombat fighting game series named Geras was developed artificially and immortally by Kronika, the previous Keeper of Time. Geras is devoted to his master, as well as her efforts to bring the new era to an end. As an enemy in the game's story mode, Geras makes his playable character debut in Mortal Kombat 11. His immunity to death, however, is his most extraordinary quality. Geras also demonstrates the qualities of a scholar, having lived numerous lives and over various time frames. He researches and learns about many individuals, civilizations, and events, so he has an exceptional understanding of the world and the people that live in them. Geras has a toned body, a dark complexion, no hair on his head, bright blue eyes, and an energy that is also visible on his chest as well as his back. It appears as though Geras' entire body is pieced together, much like a jigsaw puzzle. Geras made his debut appearance in Mortal Kombat 11, Part 1, retrieving Jinsei vitals from the reservoir beneath the Shaolin Temple. In order to prevent Liu Kang and Kung Lao from recovering the stolen Jinsei, Geras hinders them from doing so. Geras is immediately beheaded by Kung Lao's razor hat, only to disclose to the warriors his position as a fixed constant in time, and his death is reversed in a matter of seconds. The construct then pauses time, allowing Geras to recover the Jinsei and Kronika to arrive seconds later, her servant handing her the vitals of the Jinsei. He then attacks the warriors and is beaten, but after the monks regain the Jinsei and try to assault him again, the construct stops time. Even though Geras wants to kill the Shaolin soldiers, Kronika cautions against it, since they still need the help of their revenant selves. After Scorpion and Sub-Zero destroy the Cyber Lin Kuei assembly facility, Geras enlists Kano's past and present selves to help repair the damaged and unconscious Sector, while simultaneously asking if Sector's configuration could be mass-produced. He then promises a sizable reward for the Black Dragon's superiority in the new era. Geras informs Aaron Black from a previous life that they would be paid when the two Kano's consent to repair and produce additional Cyber Lin Kuei. Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade's former selves are being saved by special forces inside the Black Dragon Fight Club when Geras shows up, disregarding or murdering any soldiers standing in his way of the Cage family in order to kill them and kill Cassie Cage at the present time. Even though Geras starts to regenerate when Cassie detonates a grenade on his body after he fails in his goal, the special forces manage to flee with the entire Cage family behind them. Geras comes before the Thunder God, donning new armor and engaging Raiden in combat to prevent him from approaching Kronika, as Raiden leads the combined defenses of the Shaolin, the Special Forces, and the Outworld's army, all to invade Kronika's keep on board Karen's fleet. Although Raiden overcomes Geras, the constructs continue to remind him that he cannot die, almost mockingly. This ultimately proves to be his downfall when Raiden ties him up with a hefty chain and anchor, throwing Geras into the unfathomable blood seas below. Since Geras cannot drown, according to Raiden, he will be bound to sink for all eternity and will never be freed. Geras and Frost warned his creator Kronika of the dubious nature of the familiar strangers in Part 2 Aftermath. Kronika is in shock since the void is unavoidable. To find Nightwolf, Shang Tsung, and Fujin was his assignment. He shows up at the Wu Shi Academy in an effort to capture them, along with the Cyber Lin Kuei and Frost. Geras gets cut off by Nightwolf after he has defeated them. Geras reattaches one of his arms. Fujin uses some error to blow Geras through the Chaos Realm portable as Shang Tsung unlocks it. Geras' still unattached arm grabs Nightwolf, but he kicks it straight through the portal. Havik, according to the Shang Tsung, will entertain Geras. In the Soul Chamber, Geras meets Sindel and the revived Shao Kahn while donning his new armor from the unaltered timeline when he battles Raiden and requests their help for Kronika. Shao Kahn declines Kronika's offer of assistance because he feels betrayed by the fact that Kitana has ascended to the Outworld throne and instead opts to deploy Sindel to battle the construct. As Shao Kahn approaches the downed Geras and viciously bashes him over the head with his Wrath Hammer many times, utterly crushing his head with one blow, Sindel, who has been vanquished, pushes the weak Geras away. Despite his ability to regenerate and his immortality, Geras vanishes away after being defeated in the Soul Chamber, leaving no trace of his whereabouts or his state. There is a lot of trivia surrounding Geras, so let's quickly show you a few of them. Geras' ability to manipulate sand and time is probably based on the phrase sands of time, which describes how time passes like sand through an hourglass. The Mortal Kombat series' first characters with complete control over time and manipulation are Geras and Kronika, apart from Taven in Mortal Kombat Armageddon's Conquest mode. Even while other characters like Shang Tsung and Raiden have the ability to change time, Kronika and Geras have complete control over the timeline. In MK 2011, Raiden altered the chronology, although he never had complete control over it as much as Kronika and Geras did. Shang Tsung can make himself younger and grant others longer lives, as he did for Aaron Black, but like Raiden, he never possessed genuine power over time. The first character having the capacity to alter the match timer is Geras. The non-canon guest characters, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, and Spawn also have this feature. In Mortal Kombat 11's story mode, Kung Lao beheads Geras, and the latter's head transforms into the sand, as well as rematerializes on his body. Geras was alluded to as Terminus when the Mortal Kombat 11 website's roster section was originally posted. The fact that Geras was listed as TER in the Mortal Kombat 11 files shows that his original title was Terminus, after being modified at some point during development. Geras has said that American Sheriff Wyatt Earp had shot him after a confrontation with Aaron Black back in 1881. The resurrection of Jason and Devora is passive, but Geras has a real talent that must be used. When Jason is resurrected, he merely loses his super meter, but Geras loses all of his offensive as well as his defensive meter, while Devora transforms into a bug that must be defeated in order to return to her original form. The two different finishes, both Shao Kahn and Geras, use the same moniker, Back Blown Out. Shao Kahn's is a fatality, whereas Geras's is a brutality. Geras never employs a stone sword while playing, despite employing one during his fatal blow. When characters in the arcade inquire about Geras's origins during conversations, he invariably replies that he hails from Kronika's Keep, the place where Kronika constructed him. This keep is never featured in the story mode. However, the keep makes its appearance as part of the Aftermath DLC. Johnny Cage will give Geras the moniker Busta Times in the character choose screen while utilizing the announcer voice pack, which is an homage to renowned real-life American rapper Busta Rhymes. With his temporal advantage ability, Geras is the first character to have a delayed stun ability. In contrast to other stuns, Geras can execute moves that, if performed with the conventional stun ability, would terminate a character's combo. Thus, Geras joins Jason Voorhees and Leatherface as the only characters having non-traditional stun abilities. Some of Geras' famous quotes include, "I, Geras, am a fixed point in time. With every death and rebirth, I grow stronger. You're good, but you're no great Kung Lao. Serve Kronika, and she will provide. I have died 1,000 deaths to prepare for this battle. My defeat is impossible. I am eternal, Fujin. My will and my strength infinite. No one has ever escaped the void. Each time, the perfection of her design grows closer. And of course, do not invoke Kronika's wrath, Shao Kahn." What makes Geras so deadly? Geras can teleport, rewind, or halt the regular flow of time, delete someone from time completely, repeat his past action, and control the sand of time, similarly to his mistress. He can shift into the sand to protect himself, create armaments out of it, as well as utilize it to build blockades. He has tremendous strength, allowing him to explode skulls or rip someone in two parts easily, and, similar to Tremor, he can alter the soil around him. Geras can revive himself from any harmful energy, and has a kind of immortality that prevents him from completely dying ever. The length of time required for this relies on the seriousness of the injury. Recovering from being blown to bits or a decapitation takes longer than recovering from something more simple like, say, a gunshot. He could get wiser and stronger with each death. This cycle enables him to engage Raiden in combat. Geras is confident, yet the Thunder God still defeats him. He could easily compete with opponents like Liu Kang or Kung Lao, according to whatever character the player chooses, even prior to one of his deaths right at the hands of Cassie. Like the majority of combatants, Geras is competent in martial arts. As was revealed, he may bother people like Raiden and Liu Kang. He also has a deep understanding of historical events, just like his teacher. Even in his introduction, he makes reference to significant historical personalities like Joan of Arc. Sand can be made strong enough to be used to build tables, walls, or tools like swords and hammers in order to crush and slice Geras' foes. Geras can also use the Sands of Time to control the earth, calling boulders to attack his adversary's feet and forging gauntlets out of metal. Additionally, he possesses magical power that enables him to easily toss people over a great distance, break everyone else in half, smash his own rock constructions, and crush heads into pieces. Geras flashes his hand towards the opponent while using his temporal advantage, briefly locking them in place before unleashing a second-time explosion that pushes the adversary away. By speeding up the strike, Geras is able to fully freeze the adversary, delaying the second explosion and leaving them open to attack from Geras. Geras can't employ any of his crushing blows until the opponent is unfrozen when they are stunned. The effect finishes early if Geras delivers his final blow, during that period before it expires. Geras uses his sand trap to make a sand vortex beneath the adversary's feet, sending them into a hole. This strike has the ability to penetrate armor, including that provided by certain abilities, as well as fatal blows. Geras tackles the adversary and throws them to the ground after carrying them for a long distance with his Titan tackle. Geras will move a greater distance according to how long the trigger is held down when initiating an attack. By doing this, Geras may hurl the opponent far away from him while carrying him midway across the arena. Geras builds his knuckle duster from the big fist and hits the adversary right in the face, nearly knocking them off the screen. This strike may miss targets that are dodging. Geras uses his sand simulacrum to make a clone of himself out of sand that stands on the fight line. The clone dims when either he or his adversary enters, but neither fighter is harmed. Geras' response to the sand clone with his time warp, substituting it and reappearing in its position. When Geras teleports, if an opponent is already within range of the clone, they will merely be pushed out of the path. Instead of teleporting the clone, Geras will use his erase simulacrum to intensify the assault and destroy it, creating an eruption of sand nearby. The opponent gets propelled into the air, just to get a toss if they are close to the erupting sand. Geras summons a spiky sand pillar below the adversary with his sand pillar move, launching them into the air as well as away from Geras. When utilized on the edge of the Colosseum, the strike occasionally allows for a brief combo extension before knocking the opponent away. Geras creates a sizable area of shifting sand with his shifting sands move, preventing the adversary from leaving it. The adversary can jump away from the sand as well as run out of it, but if they're right in the middle of it, they might not completely escape. Geras may step back in time after completing a basic attack so that he can get back to his starting place right away. This ability is known as stepping it back. This demands one line of offensive meter, which must be utilized in order to complete. After reaching 0 health, Geras uses Reawakened to release an energy explosion that knocks the foe away. After that, Geras reverses time to the moment before the last strike, regaining his health and resuming the fight. With reverse time, Geras can turn back time and revert to the final place he was using before the attack. In some cases, Geras will even come back hale and hearty. While equipped, this ability takes up 2 spaces. Geras can eliminate or lengthen the round timer using lost time and spare time based on an intake. In each round, only one activation of each effect is permitted. In spare time, Geras adds 30 seconds to the active timer of the round. In lost time, he subtracts 30 seconds. When using quicksand, Geras produces a sand vortex below the opponent, akin to sand trap, but instead of teleporting in front of the opponent, he draws them right next to the vortex by the face, compels them to the ground, and then deals a devastating slash to the edge of their throat. Quicksand may attack the adversary from far away and on full screen. Geras becomes resistant to projectiles when the assault and teleportation are connected. Sand Trap is replaced by this power when worn. Geras conjures many stone spikes with Bed of Spikes, takes the adversary by the neck, and throws them into the spikes, imploding them. When worn, this power takes the place of Titan Tackle. Geras intensifies the strike by transforming the thorns into a sand vortex, which he then throws his opponent through before juggling them in the air. With the Gauntlet of Ages, he now charges the Big Fist rather than using his Knuckle Duster to hit the opponent right away. The more time Geras spends charging the Big Fist, the more destruction it will deal with the following time he uses it or his uppercut. Geras executes Big Fist with History Lesson, however, owing to its charging characteristics. This rendition of the strike is a little more lagging than the original. When effectively connecting the strike, this variant produces the exact knockback impact as the original, but when the opponent blocks it, Geras is secure, and the foray generates a lot of pushback. As his fist charges, Geras uses Cancel to stop the assault. This may be performed at any point while the foray is charging. One of his most well-known finishes is when Geras approaches a heap of sand during a beach party and quickly builds a sandcastle there while using his time-traveling abilities. Marvelous Verdict. Geras is a formidable opponent with some of the deadliest lethal strikes in the game. Additionally, he possesses a ton of strings, many of which can be reversed into special moves that may be hurled into blocks without running the danger of being penalized. If done correctly, you may play mind games with your opponent while simultaneously thrashing them around because they won't know what's coming and will be forced to guess how the combination will conclude. He is presently one of the strongest and most influential fighters in the game, making him a prime target for a buff in the future. His arsenal also includes the ability to control time, a number of great throws, as well as one of the finest deadly blows in the whole game. What are your thoughts on Geras? Let us know in the comment section below. And if you liked our content, then please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. For Marvelous Videos, I'm Rylan. Have a good one and be safe.